Start a new project and select Node 2D as your root node. Create a kinematic body 2D on the root node and add a collision shape 2D as a child of the kinematic body. Add a sprite to your scene as a child of the kinematic body so you can actually see it in your game. Zero out the transform so that it moves and rotates properly. Create a new collision shape on the node you made earlier. Make it as big or as small as you want, but keep in mind that this is going to be the boundary box that defines where your player bumps into walls and stuff. Add a position 2D node as a child of your sprite. This is going to be where your bullets spawn. Now we're going to write some code. Add a script to the kinematic body. You'll find a link in the description if you want to cross-reference, but I highly encourage you to write the code with me and understand how it works rather than just blindly copy and paste it. Go into your project settings and add 4 new inputs, up, down, left and right. Bind them to whatever you want, but I've gone for WASD here. Create a speed constant and set it to 300. Override the input function, which is triggered whenever an input event happens, like clicking the mouse or pressing a key. Create a velocity variable, which we're going to use to move the player later. Set it to vector2.0 as the default value, and to be reset whenever input is fired. Set up a bunch of if statements that listen for when the up, down, left, and right events happen, which we set up in the project settings earlier. These are going to manipulate the value of the velocity variable. Now we want to normalize the diagonal movement, so that moving diagonally is as fast as moving forwards and backwards. Be smarter than me and realize that speed is a constant and not a variable. Finally, use the move and slide function and feed it the velocity variable within the physics process function to actually move the character. If you've done everything correctly, you should be able to move the character around when you playtest the game now. We can get the character to look at the mouse with just one line of code. One thing about this is that the Collider 2D rotates with the player, as demonstrated here with this box. To fix this, we first need to get a reference to our collider. OnReady means that the variable is declared when the ready function is called. This needs to happen because we can't get a reference to an object that hasn't actually been made yet, so we just tell the compiler to wait a moment. Now that we have a reference, we can do stuff to it. We'll set the collider's global rotation value to 0 every frame. You can't shoot bullets if there's no such thing as a bullet, so let's make a bullet. Make an area 2D node. Add a sprite. Zero out the sprite's transform values. Move the player out of the way so you can see what you're doing. Add a collision shape to it. Make it as big or as small as you want. Save your bullet as a new scene. Go into the new scene you just made and attach a script to its root node. This is going to do one thing. Move forwards, collide with something, and then make both itself and the object it hits disappear. Connect the body entered trigger on the area 2D node by going into its node window as shown. This will make a new function to your script. You cannot copy and paste this part, it must be connected this way. Save your script and accidentally shoot yourself. Head into your project settings and make an event called shoot, and bind it to your left mouse button. Back in your player script, you're going to want to create a new if statement under the rest of the inputs that calls a new function when the shoot event happens. We're going to preload the bullet in this variable. This is why we saved it as a scene earlier. Now we define the shoot function. The shoot function instantiates a new bullet and sets its transform equal to the position 2D node we made way back at the start of this video. Assigning the bullet to the transfer 2D node's global transform means that the bullets stop following the mouse after they've been fired. Like this video if it helped you, and if you're stuck, please leave a comment or join my Discord.